Every day this world is multiplying. Young girls are having children by the million. What happened to the younger generation? Mother and father, why can't you set a stronger foundation? If you don't give them the love they want, don't you expect they will go and look it and come in with fatherless children? Then you will have to support it. Parents, stop fooling around. Pick up those children off the ground. Brush them off, then stop and think. If you had planned this child's future wisely, don't you think he'll stand a better chance in this society? So if you don't give them the love they want. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl evanitystar TV coming back to you with another video. And this video will be giving you information of how I became an introvert and gained financial freedom as a result of it by becoming a nurse. So guys, if you like this video, just continue to like, share, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. And if you're coming for the first time, just smash that button. Just smash that button. Just smash that button, okay? Evanitystar TV. I wrote this song, guys, when I was 25 years old. Yes, I did. I wrote this song, and I also had an album. What happened to it? I can't even give you much information about it. But I grew up in Jamaica as a very dysfunctional girl. When I said dysfunctional, from a very dysfunctional household. And the only way I could gain solace with myself was to lock myself away, where I became an introvert. Becoming an introvert was the way I could get peace around me. I used to just write stories, write songs, walk in the atmosphere, and just enjoying myself by myself. I couldn't trust no one around me except my mother and my sister, who passed away some time ago. If I confide in someone, I will hear it back in the street, and it will be a big fight, because I was the type of person like this. If I tell you something, I want it to stay. I don't want to hear it back in the street. So, it will cause a fight. So the best thing I had to do was to stay by myself. And this song that I wrote was about what was happening around me, because the mothers and the fathers within the community wasn't creating any foundation for the kids, to include my whole home. And girls around me within the community, they were just having babies from 11, 12, 13, 14 years old for men of greater than their age, because of circumstances, because there was no money in the home and there was nothing. So they used to go out and beg all these men, and what happened when you beg men something, they're going to beg you back something. So as a result, they were having all these fatherless children, because these kids didn't have a father, because each one of the fathers used to say, I don't know, not me, you've been with this one, and before you know it, there was a bunch of fatherless children running around. So I wrote this song. But I became an introvert of peace. Me becoming an introvert wasn't a matter of choice, but it was a matter of circumstances. So I locked myself away and I studied by myself. I would not be going to school on a regular basis, because I never liked school, because I never liked the kids around me. They used to tease me a lot, and I never liked them. And it's a hard word to say, but I never had any friend and somebody that I could confide in. Community kids around, we talk to them on a daily basis. If I'm out the road, I'm going to the shop, or I'm doing something, people will interact with me, and I will talk with them. But were they my friends? No. There's not one person within my community that I will consider a friend to the end, or somebody that I've grown up with, where I can say, yes, this person is really my friend. There is one person that I wanted so much to connect with, to be their friend, but she didn't see me as the type of friend that she wanted. She chose another person, which she wished she had been my friend up to this point. But it's too late, because the connection was lost. But as a result of me becoming introverted, I lost myself in books and I gained solace in books. And this is what saved me. Because if I was one of those person who was out there and I was popular and I was doing it, I wouldn't have become a nurse because all the pretty girls around me were getting all the guys and they were gone and gone. Up at age 14, my mom told me that I have had overtime, 2 years overtime in school because she stopped from school when she was 12. And they teach you in Jamaica during the time, not now. During the time I was growing up, I was taught to wash, cook, and clean because that's the only way you're going to be able to attract a good man in your life. I wanted more than being able to wash, cook, and clean for a person. I never want the life that I was seeing around me because I was seeing so many women being abused, so many kids being fatherless, so many children not going to school. I didn't want that life. I didn't want that life to be a part of me at all. So I used to walk within the community where I was living. Where I was living was ghetto, but it was also adjacent to where the Prime Minister Michael Manley used to live. Those who remember Michael Manley. And I used to walk and I used to look at all those beautiful houses and beautiful cars. I wanted it for myself too. I saw them driving in, coming in, and the gate is locked, and they're going and they're in this comfortable home and light and everything, all the amenities. I never had that because we used to cook on wood fire on the outside. We used to use what you call a pit toilet that was outside, and I used to be in a one bedroom where my kitchen, bedroom, dining room was within the one room. So that is what I was used to. So I had to go out to learn. And when I start watching television and seeing how people live, I said, yeah, this is the type of life I want to live. I can remember one day I decided to go on a nature walk with myself. And I knock on this lady's door. And she asked me to come in, but she thought I wanted something to eat. So she offered me a slice of bread and butter with some lemonade. And I said, this is not what I want. She said, what do you want, little girl? I said, what does it take for you to have a home like this? What do you have to do? She looked at me and she said, you have to have a good education in order to get a good job to afford all these things. And I was puzzled because I said, good education, good job. I started to look around and say, what can I do to gain financial freedom away from this poverty that I'm living in, this dysfunction where nobody had no prospect, nobody had no future. Everybody just wake up, they just live. They just bathe, put on their clothes, go on the street, come back. There was no routine. There was just total chaos around me. And the chaos I didn't want to be a part of. So I just isolated myself as a matter of choice based on my circumstances. So that way I became an introvert. I loved it because it allowed me to navigate difference in my mind. That song that started the video, when I wrote that song, I had the opportunity of having an interview with Lloyd Lovindeer's sister. She had a wonderful home and she was very concerned about me because she figured out I'm not going to make it well in the music industry because I didn't have that financial backing and I didn't have the support behind me. And where I was going to a studio was not conducive to any young girl being there because it was so many men, and you know what, when you are around a lot of men, what happens? They want, this one want to be with you, that one want to be with you, that one want to be with you. So she scheduled an interview for me to come and talk with her. She gave me her address and I found it. I had to ring a bell and the security came out and I had to say who I was going through and I had to talk to an intercom and she said yes, she was expecting me and I had to come up. I was flabbergasted because I said, people live like this in Jamaica? I said, wow, I want this life too. So I went up to her apartment and she was talking to me about the song that I wrote. And she said it's a very good song and she loved it, but she's not advising me to go into music. She wants me to get an education. She wants me to continue with my education and become somebody more prosperous because she don't want me to be a one-hit wonder. because everybody wanted that music at the time. I listened to what she was saying. I was a little puzzled at the time, but I'm a person who walk and think and do a lot of introspection. So I listened to what she was saying, and I went home and I said, how am I going to do this? Because I don't have the help. I don't have the support from nobody. So I tell myself, I have to go on this journey. So I spoke with my mom. She was a little reluctant about me getting involved in going back to school and, having the profession that I want. But I insisted, and I went back. I started school, and I made it. I got all my subjects that required me to go into nursing. But initially, I wanted was to become a teacher. Whenever somebody gives me an advice, I will always listen, and I pick sense from nonsense. And my sister would say to me, Yvonne, why do you want to become a teacher? She said, you're not going to make it in a classroom with all these hostile children. And I said, you know what, sister? You're telling me the truth. I said, what do you want me to become? She said, you can still become a teacher, but you can be a nurse and a teacher. So I said, oh, okay, so I can still teach as a nurse? She said, yes. And knowing how you love people and love animals, because I used to have a dog. I can't forget my dog, Brownie. My dog was like, he was so dear to me. He could sense when I was in pain or anything was happening to me. I decided to go on this journey of becoming a nurse and where I could teach. And I'm telling you, I did not make a mistake. I would not go back on my circumstances, because I think that if I didn't grow up the way I grew up in the household that I came from, I wouldn't become what I am today, because it had made me stronger. Like the song would say, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. Yes, but I'm sorry to say that a lot of friends, a lot of girls around me didn't make it to the level that I made it. I am the only one from that area that I grew up in Barbican, Jamaica, that made it to become a professional person in my community. I was the only one that would consider me to be the ghetto queen. And I didn't see myself as being a ghetto queen, but I had a lot of influence on a lot of people within my community, because as a result of that, they were teaching their kids, wanting their kids to have a better education, using me as an example. Every time they would see me, they would say, oh my God, Yvonne, I cannot believe you become this nurse. Some people would cry. Some people, when they see me, they turn their back. Some people would be so flabbergasted, I'll be over them, and they would say, oh, Yvonne? And they would just look at me in awe and can't believe. So I know without a shadow of a doubt that being an introvert, having to do a self-inspection, I was able to look 5 and 6 and 7 years ahead of me. And also I was a person who would listen to good advice. And a lot of people would tell me bad advice, because they would come and say, oh, you're going back to school? Big man can't go back to school. They would tell me, I want to take your tie and choke you. They would just tell me all kind of things that will discourage me, but I would never listen to the discouragement. I always take positive advice and move ahead, because I know that I'm not the type of person who's going to sit back wanting somebody to buy me something and have to wait for it. I want to be able to buy myself something. My sister used to, talk to me on a level where she used to scare me about life, because she was very beautiful. And I was like the ugly duckling within the family. I must be honest to you. Yes, my sister she was sharp. She was, everywhere she goes, men's head used to be turned. Yes. And she used to say, Yvonne, look at how beautiful I am, and I'm abused by men. Can you just imagine what they will do to you? And that resonates with me, because I knew that she was telling the truth. They would beat her up, black and blue up her eyes, she would be so bust up in those days. Because she was so beautiful, anywhere she go, her boyfriend used to think that she's going out to see another man. So I said, you know what? I really don't want that. And as a result, I stayed celibate. I didn't have a boyfriend. I just went to school. I did what I had to do, and I made it. I made it because I was an introvert. I made it because I only lost myself within myself. And when I say lost myself within myself, I would just open up books and lost myself within books. And I gained peace, and I gained happiness, and I gained solace. And I used to just laugh when I'm reading because there was so much knowledge within the book. And I used to say, wow, I don't get this from nobody around me. Because when my brother and my sister, everybody wakes up, there was just a total chaos of confusion. Sometimes I will be walking by the neighbors fighting and cussing, and before you know it, that one was being chopped up, that one got a busted, that one, something was just wrong around me. So I said, you know what, let me just lost myself. So I just locked myself in my room and just lost myself in this book. In this book, I used to read every book what you can think of. Any books with pictures, and if I didn't know the word, I studied the word. I break it up. I learned it. Then eventually, I was this perfect reader. I was, wow. Looking back at myself, but one thing I can say: how many individuals can go through this? Guys, if you like my video and you think that this video helped you anyway, just continue to like, share, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell so that you can be notified of another video to come. Thank you. Walk good and be safe, okay? All right.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the